Welcome back, everyone. First up, no, I haven't disappeared. I'm still around, and this channel's not going to be dead. There's going to be a lot of content coming in the near future. Basically what's happened is that I tagged along to an event called Speed Week in South Australia with my brother-in-law and his son. We were away for 7 days. I was shooting for the whole 7 days. So Speed Week is an event that, well, it's in the name, Speed Week. You take your vehicle across there and you register in a particular section, and you then try and break that record. And there are all manner of machines on there, out there on the salt. There was motorbikes, cars, trucks, and vehicles that I can't even put a name to. I think so. We have speeds from around the 60 mile an hour, and by the way, we're using mile an hour because this is a very US centric sport. From say around 60 mile an hour up to in the mid 320 miles an hour. You do your conversions, you'll see that's pretty bloody fast. Anyway, as a result, I shot so much video that for the last month I have literally been editing and posting regular videos up on my other channel, Sealands Media, and that is why I've been so absent on this channel. So look, that's the story. If you're interested in seeing some of the stuff, head over to my other channel, Sealands Media, and have a look. It just occurred to me that people, like, I'm not a petrol head, but I must admit I still enjoyed it. I like machines, like I like this machine. So go and have a look. You might find it interesting. I'm out for a ride at the moment. I'm visiting my daughter, and I'm looking after their cats. And I've decided to go for a ride out near there where they live and explore, and that's what I'm doing. But I thought I'd better do this video for you. Another little interesting tidbit. I got an email from a guy who had is the operative word, had a bike identical to mine, and apparently he had the lights in the same layout on the handlebar and so forth. He was watching some of my YouTube videos, and he actually thought that I might have bought it second hand from someone who stole his bike. The power of YouTube. But no, in this case I purchased this bike from the big bike shop in Dandenong back in 2022, brand new. But I really am sorry to hear that that guy had his bike stolen. Which brings me to a topic which I am going to cover sometime in the future, and that is security, bike security. I think the first thing you should do is put some sort of a tracking device on your bike. Secondly, get yourself a variety of really high quality, sorry about this, we're hitting some pretty bad corrugations. Some high quality cable locks and so forth. I've got quite a few actually. So as I said, I'm going to do a talk on that. But the biggest thing is just beware. Don't do stupid things like leave your bike in an isolated area that can be easily sighted and taken. In essence, make sure you've got it locked away all the time. So on a different subject, we're coming into autumn here in Australia, especially down in the southern part of the continent. And it is absolutely gorgeous. It's my favourite time of the year. We get some of the most stable weather. So you get, like today, glorious blue skies. Still, like there was no wind. And you get up to frosty mornings, but then you've got beautiful like 20-25 degrees Celsius days. And perfect weather to get out and about on your e-bike. I don't know if you can hear that. Birds chirping away. It's like full stereo. Some over there, some over there. Wow. So just in case you want to know where I am, I'm going around the lake, Devil Bend Reservoir. I call it a lake. So why do I like bikes like this? Well, this is why. You can explore weird and wonderful places. Isn't that fantastic? So I mentioned earlier that I'd been out in South Australia at a place called Lake Gardner, which is a salt lake. It's a huge salt plain. It's roughly 350 k's northwest of Port Augusta, and it's dead flat, and it goes on for kilometres and kilometres and kilometres. I don't know if you remember, especially if you're similar to my age, the Blue Bird. Malcolm Campbell, was it? I think. He was trying to break the land speed record, and it was out in that area. So it's a fairly dangerous sport at high speeds. But I've got to say, Speed Week itself is run so well. So its acronym is DLRA, which stands for Dry Lake Racing Association. And one of the things that first struck me when I got there was just how friendly everyone was and how approachable. I mean, I've been to a lot of different events like this, and I take my cameras along, and you ask what, do an interview, and no. I didn't have one person knock me back. I had one person who was a little bit reluctant because I think he was a bit busy, but he gave me an interview. I know this has not got anything to do with e-bikes, although saying that, there were a lot of e-bikes out and about on the Salt Lake. So what you have to understand is that the pit, there's close to 200 people competing in this thing, and each group with their vehicle has their own pit, so that even the pit area stretches on forever. And then you've got a good half kilometre down what seems like that, down the salt plain, you've got the staging area, and then you go down even further to the actual start lines. So it's big, and so having an e-bike is fantastic to get around on. But what I'm trying to say is that it's something that, it's one of those things that you might want to look at next year, just to go and see what it's all about. There's plenty of spectators. There was this old guy, he apparently had an old 1925 Dodge. He towed a caravan. Now, you've got to understand this, towing a caravan along those roads from Iron Knob into Mount Ive and then down to the Salt by itself is an adventure. Now, to have a 1925 Dodge and then towing a normal caravan, wow. So there you go. Yeah, anyway, it's just something, well, first off, if you want a taste of it, go over to my other channel, have a look, and have a think about maybe going. I think you might find it really interesting. So going forward, it's my intention, so what videos have got to come up? Okay, So I've got a couple already in the can from a few months ago. There was a trip to Marysville, roaring around some of the trails up there, and then Buxton. That was fun. There's one that I shot many months ago, and I haven't had a chance to get to it. It's just to show you what there's a place down the peninsula called Sea Winds, and there's a great mountain bike path there, but the downside to most people is that it's a phenomenal downhill trail, but you got to pay the tax to get back up, but it's worth it. I also interviewed an old friend of mine. Now, Noel, heavily involved in the education industry. He and his wife spent a number of years living in China, and his tales of owning electric bikes over there is quite interesting. So I've got that coming up as well. And going forward, I want to go and try out some of these rental bikes that are in the city. I want to do a bit of a review of those. Talking of the city, there is also, I discovered I was actually in the city this week, in Melbourne I'm talking about, and I was near Federation Square, and I went for a walk down along what they call the Green Line. Now, I didn't even know this was in development, but apparently on that side of the Yarra, they're developing parks and bike and walkways all the way along. Apparently it's going to go all the way down to Docklands. Phenomenal. Anyway, I got talking to this gentleman who was on his bike, and it turns out he was telling me about all these bike trails. And for instance, and this blew my mind, and he said, look, because where I live in Somerville, down on the peninsula, I could go down to Sorrento, and I knew this, and hop on the ferry and go over on the ferry. But then I could go out to port via Port Arlington, hop on another ferry, which will take me to the Docklands, and then I could do a complete loop around Melbourne. Apparently there's a whole series of trails, end up back in the city near Flinders Street. I could put my bike on the train and then head home. So sometime in the future I'm going to do that one. This is one of my favourite spots. Sort of magical. Oops. So there's one more thing I want to touch on. I'm seriously thinking about starting up a Patreon account. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's a way that I can request payments if you feel that you're getting value for money. So it's not a subscription. It's a way that I can ask you that, say if I do a specific video, that you got value out of it, and then you can then pay whatever you feel like. Now, the thing is, the long-term plan for this would be to, as the community builds, if you guys are interested in me exploring other aspects of e-bikes, be them different bikes, travel locations, you name it. The whole idea of the Patreon thing, it also gives you the ability to communicate with me, and then I can then produce the videos that you might be interested in. So look, I'm just feeling the water at the moment. Put it out there. I'm interested in the feedback, and we'll see where it goes. But I would love to be able to just grow this channel and produce stuff that you want, that's relevant to you. But obviously I need to get enough people to make it worthwhile. But if we can do that, then, well, this could be a win-win for both of us. Anyway, think about it and let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you.